Today we're going to look at how to improve your persuasive essays. The first thing you want to do is remember the type of language that goes into essays. Use formal language. Don't use slang words or words that you might be using when you text. Avoid contractions like the words can't and don't. Spell out your verbs. Do not use a first-person point of view in persuasive writing if you can help it, or any personal pronouns. This is not an opinion essay, but rather an argument. Now, you should also avoid overgeneralized statements. Usually you might see sentences such as all readers and viewers would agree. Don't assume your reader will agree with you right away. Instead, remember you are trying to persuade them that your position is the most valid or convincing. Now remember the topic hook at the beginning of your persuasive essay to grab your reader's attention. Give them a relevant fact, maybe a quote, an astute observation, or a rhetorical question. Introduce your topic of exploration and draw your reader in. Leave them wanting more. For example, maybe perhaps you would say, in the wise words of fiction author Conrad Smith, characters add humanity to the written word, proving that it's the intensity of universal human emotions that link readers to stories and their central conflicts. And then, of course, we would have an in-text citation. So that hook that you want at the very beginning, you want to give a relevant fact that people will connect to. Perhaps a quotation like Conrad Smith's here, something that gives that exploration into what it is you're about to talk about. State your position on the topic, question, or prompt in an explicit one-sentence thesis statement that guides your entire essay in your first paragraph. Now, this is what you want to prove. Be concise, but be assertive when stating your thesis. Use confident language, such as you're going to say something is undeniable, it's indisputable, it's evident or clear, it should be obvious, it's been proven, it's exemplified. Stay focused when you're on your topic prompt. Always keep your thesis in mind. Only write what is relevant to your one topic. Otherwise, you're going to need to go back and rewrite your thesis to cover other topics, or you might even be drifting off topic, and that's not going to be persuasive. Use a fully developed point, proof, and analysis structure in order to defend your thesis statements. So once you're moving into body paragraphs, make sure that you have 2 points, 2 proofs, or analyses at a minimum in order to create good body paragraphs. Now make a clear connection between your point and your proof in your analysis sentences. Explain why both reinforce the position that you've taken in your thesis statement. So once you make your topic sentence, make a connection between that point and then your rest of your evidence and proof that follows along in that paragraph. Be specific in your proof. Now include a direct quotation from the text as support and properly reference it using correct MLA citation formatting. In other words, using a works cited page and putting your citation in text parentheses. Restate your thesis in your concluding sentences using different words than you initially used, but without changing your argument or point of focus. Now, when writing the title of a television show, film, poem, or short story from an anthology, or a newspaper or magazine article, the title should be either written in quotations or it should be italicized. Don't do both. Now, when writing the title of a novel or a play, the title should be underlined or italicized. Again, don't do both. Pick one. Keep your verb tense consistent throughout all of your writing. For example, maybe perhaps use present tense verbs rather than past tense. For example, using the word develops rather than developed, or says rather than said. Now, when referring to the action in a novel, article, short story, film, or television show in your writing, you should always use the present tense. Now, in formal writing, you do not begin a sentence with the words but, and, or because. Although you will see this in fiction and creative writing, it's not technically accurate, as these words imply an attachment to another thought or idea, likely in the sentence preceding it. And therefore, this sentence cannot stand on its own. It's a sentence fragment. Pay attention to your sentence fluency. Matter of fact, even read your writing out loud to help you detect avoidable errors in your context. Use transition words and phrases to connect your sentences so that your writing flows logically and effectively. Some good transition words might be therefore, also, in addition, for example, for instance, next, consequently, nevertheless, nonetheless, furthermore, in conclusion, finally. A lot of times you will see these transition words and phrases at the very beginning of sentences, and a lot of times at the very beginning of a paragraph. Now, your essay should not address what the story is about. This is a persuasive essay. Don't start giving summaries. Use repetition purposefully and effectively as a rhetorical technique. There's a significant difference between not owning a thesaurus or not being original, critical, and in-depth in your analysis, and using repetition for emphasis. So when you are repeating for emphasis. You're not repeating just to use words. You should include a creative and relevant title for your essay. Don't simply write a title like Persuasive Paragraph 1 or Persuasive Evaluation. Do not confuse the terms narrator, protagonist, and author, as most times they are not the same thing. For television or film examples, reference the characters and director. Do not reference the actor. Do not write, in English class we, or whatever class you're writing your argument for. Do not reference your class in your paragraph. Maintain a formal tone. And that should be a good end to you starting your paragraphs and your essays. Thank you so much for stopping by this channel. I'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe. If there's anything else you'd like to learn about persuasive essays or other writing in general, please leave comments down below. Let me know what else you'd like to see. Thanks for stopping by.